My name, okay. Welcome to SASA 210, where we talk Spurs, local venues, local foods, SA basically. My name is Pam Ranick. What would Batman do? And I'm here with my co-host here,
the analyst. The numbers don't lie.
Outspoken. I'd buy that for $1.
Prop King. Said it, bet it, forget it. All right. So for all our spooky Spurs followers out there, we got a great opportunity coming up October 13th. That will be Friday the 13th. And with the details, let me hand it over to Panoramic.
All right, guys, I need you to imagine yourself witnessing history for the first time. You're going to see Wembanyama play in a Spurs preseason game. His first preseason game. If you want to be there and watch his first preseason game, we have that opportunity. You just need to subscribe.
I'd buy that for $1.
All right, well, I didn't even know we were doing that, but yeah, we're 31.
Yes, we're giving away your tickets, dude.
All right, well, I guess so. 31 rows away from the floor.
31?
127. Yeah. So we're looking at some good tickets.
So those are some good seats.
I'm pretty sure
good seats.
Go with them. Yeah.
All right, we're giving away one ticket only now. They're not giving away two, just one. I get to go with you.
We'll give away two. You don't want to go with it. You'll never hear it again.
All right. Two tickets. Whoever subscribes to from Bessemer off of Grayson Street. We're here. The first thing we're going to do is talk about Wembanyama, and see what we expect from him this year.
All right, so starting off, we're going to go with Wemby Watch, where we discuss Wembanyama coming over to the San Antonio Spurs and see what we think and talk about whatever we feel like. So let me ask, what do you guys view on him coming to the Spurs? What are you guys projecting over the next year?
Expectations at least playoff, reaching playoff. Maybe not getting out of the first round, but at least seeing
playoffs.
If we're comparing the guys, if people are expecting Tim Duncan stats from the guy,
yeah,
when we got him, it was a complete turnaround.
Did Duncan make the playoffs the first year?
I was just going to call that out. I don't think
they did.
They did.
Yeah,
okay.
we did.
So
Who brought up Duncan?
all right, look, so this is our first official disagreement discussion. So let me put it this way, because there are a lot of expectations out there for Wembanyama coming into the team, bringing us back to the promised land, getting us to the playoffs. Personally, I don't see it. If you look back, when Duncan was drafted in '97, we had established stars with David Robinson, top 50 player already at that time. You had Sean Lady, who was the number 3 draft pick when he came out of the league. Okay? Then you had reliable season role players like Avery Johnson, Vito Negro. Because you got to understand, every year, the Spurs were in the playoffs. They were in the hunt for the championship.
Okay, but
they just couldn't get over it.
We're talking, let me bring you back on topic here for a minute. We're talking about what do we expect from this kid this year?
And that's what I'm saying. I don't expect this year for Wemby and the Spurs to make the playoffs. Now, if they make the playoffs, great. But he's coming into a real natural rebuilding year, as opposed to when Duncan came in and basically was already set. We had an established team.
He's had a half a team.
So I think the expectations for the fans, don't get your hopes too high, because you may be disappointed. I think there's going to be great things from this kid. It's just going to be a couple of years, 3-4 years before we actually see it.
Well, here's what I got to say. So as far as saying they shouldn't be disappointed, I don't think we'd be more disappointed than we have been over the last 2 years. So I think there's nowhere to go but up.
No,
so
but people's expectations are like through the
Totally agree, and I think that's because Wembanyama's a
once in a generation.
But I think there are also, expectations are through the roof because the moves that have been made on the Western Conference.
Well, not only that,
who's really a threat other than the Phoenix Suns and the Mavericks right now?
Well, here's what I'm looking at.
Ain't a threat at all.
No, but I'm saying in the Western Conference, to keep us out of a certain part of a division to make the playoffs, who's an actual threat now in the West? I mean, with Damian Lillard gone to the East, I think all focus is over
Prop King, tell me this right now. Where do you expect, what do you expect him to do this year?
Wembanyama?
Yes.
Not play a center role, I'll tell you that. Not to play a true center role. It's more
I'd
like
buy
a
that
power
for
forward.
$1.
Yeah, play a power forward role. to where you're going to get more blocks, more rebounds, not going to get injured.
Now, here's one thing I want to add in, though, because I don't think we're looking at it from a holistic view. I mean, Wembanyama is a once-in-a-generation 7-footer that we're bringing in. The last 2 times this happened was with Duncan, and then before him, Robinson. And I think if we got those to go off as far as historical data, and Pop knows what he's doing, and he knows how to groom this person into being a team player and not necessarily a superstar, I think that's what's going to build our trajectory as far as making another championship run for San Antonio.
So what do you expect them to do this year?
So this year, I think it's going to be a bit of a learning curve. But here's the thing. It's not just Wembanyama. I mean, the great thing about the Spurs is it's not just one key player.
Well, I hear you on that, but the question is...
No. And I'm getting to that.
What is he going to do this year?
And that's the thing. He's not going to play by himself. He's going to play with the team. And we've got such great defense right now, great defensive players in...
Who are last in defense?
What's that? Well, no.
Last year, we were not...
Here's the thing, though. We've got Devin Gasol. We've got Jeremy Sohan.
Yes, but I'm asking you, what do you think he's going to do?
That's the thing. I can't get to it if you don't let me finish.
No, okay, go ahead.
So here's the thing. So having those two guys playing defense for him, I think that's going to be able to help him really drive it. So if he's not having to worry so much about defense on his side, he can actually drive it in. I mean, he can shoot from the line. He can actually shoot from anywhere. He's one of the tallest guys that can pull a crossover and transition into a backstep three-pointer.
So you don't think he's going to be the focal point of the offense or defense?
I don't think he needs to be at this point.
I honestly think he's going to be the focal point on both ends because even though he's not going to play that center position, which obviously during the game he will be at the 5
Are you
position every
assuming
now
that
and
he's
then.
going to play power forward the entire time?
Yes, I'm assuming. No, not the entire time. Hold on, not the entire time. He's going to start at power forward for sure. His main position will be power forward.
Who's going to be the center?
Probably
I think
Collins.
that's who we're trying to trade. What we're trying to look for.
That's a good call.
I mean,
Collins
that's why.
and
I mean, it's a big shot for even like go Reggie
But here's the
Bullock
thing.
in the first place.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as centers, we got Zach Collins, and that's about it.
Can we build an offense around him?
We got who?
Can we build an offense around him?
Around Collins?
Yeah.
About
As
Collins?
far as being our center,
no,
can we
that
build
guy-
an offense?
No, unfortunately, no. Zach Collins is the type of player where you can't build a team around him.
Yeah.
He just fits in with the team that you build the player around, you know?
All right, so let's get back on topic here for a second. So you're telling me you're not expecting anything from him. Just him to
learning
show
curve.
up and play and do it the best he can.
No, you know what? I'll side with Prop King over here. I think he is going to help us get to the playoffs. I don't think we're going to make it too much further, but I think that's where he's really going to learn what the game's
Analysis.
made of.
So you're saying playoffs or no?
I'm saying playoffs. Yep. I put my money on playoffs. At least first
You're
round.
saying outspoken. Tell me right now, tell the truth.
I'm going to say we're going to miss the playoffs. I'm going to say he will be Rookie of the Year. Okay. Unless there's a big roster shakeup before the trade deadline, we're not making the playoffs this year. Maybe next year, yes.
So that's a good point. As far as the roster shakeup, who do you think that we would get rid of? I mean, as far as the trades and everything else we've already gone through, I kind of feel like Pop's settling on this team. Not settling in a bad way, but I think he's really starting to see people kind of fit into the role.
I mean,
I think
I
he's
think
set.
after the amount that was laid on Vassell, I don't really think we can look for any other main players anymore.
I mean, yeah, and to me too, to piggyback off of that is the only players that we have of any value other than Wemby would be Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell. And
What about champagne?
hold on.
Not yet.
Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell, I think, are the only other two guys that have any type of value where we can get something good in a trade. But I wouldn't want to see those two guys go, especially that we just gave that extension to Vassell.
Yeah, agreed. And Vassell, I mean, he did such a great job. Last year, he was pushing, 20 points per game, roughly, 4.9 assists per game. I mean, the guy's building every year.
All right, hold on.
And the 20 games, like, or I think they play about 28 games.
All right, hold
The
on. He
numbers don't
got
lie.
hurt. He got hurt. But Prop King, what is the over under? Are they making the playoffs or no? Would you bet right now on that?
Well, let's put it this way. I mean, for season stats, the Spurs are only predicted to win about 30 games. Now, I see moves being made in the West. We should be winning more than 30 games.
So, but what are you going to bet on right now?
What do you think?
I
You're
bet
the
on the
prop
over.
kid. You're the prop
I
kid.
bet like season stats wise. Let's put season stats wise. They're only giving them 17 points a game of his average for the season and 8.2 rebounds. Now, not playing center, I think he'll get there.
Okay.
My only thing is he's gonna have to do with the adjustment or deal with the adjustment of not being the main player on his team.
Okay, so you don't think he's going to make a focal point either. So
No, he's gonna have to get used to it. His assists will probably go up a lot more this year than he did last year in Friends.
okay, so you're betting playoffs or no?
Oh, I'm betting playoffs. Like
Playoffs,
I said,
no.
I'm looking at a first round exit. Let's be real, a first round exit, but at least get in there. At least get in
And
there.
I'll say this right now.
no, sweep. Come on, man.
I'm going to put my money where Prop King's putting his money.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that
what
sounds
was your
about
answer?
accurate.
Panoramic?
Don't
You
worry,
didn't-
I'm looking at every view, man. That's what I do. I'm looking at everything.
Well, and here's my thing too. So going back to it, not being the Spurs, not being just a team of Wembanyama, the fact that we do have multiple 7-footers with a wingspan of, 6 feet on one, 7 feet on another, 8 feet on another. I mean, we're going to be out there dominating. When we have this team out there, we have them running like a well-oiled machine. They can take my money.
All right, so what I'm looking at, and which brings us into our second subject, is Pop. Popovich. What do you think this man's going to do with this kid? And he has Duncan with him. So sit
He
there
has
and
a
build
lot of
him
people
up.
with him.
Yeah, but they build centers. They build power forwards that
I think this is just a new breed of man that we've never seen in San Antonio, though. We've never had a 7-footer that can dribble like a point guard. Well, I mean, let's put it this way. The way he looked in Summer League, he wasn't dribbling like a point guard. He barely looked like he had any feet under him, to be honest. But
I think he was
I
nervous.
think he's going to adjust. Yeah, he's
I
going
think
to
as a kid, he was nervous.
Like I said, as a Spurs team, we're going to have to learn to extend the floor or spread out that floor a little bit for him because he just looks jam-packed in there with everybody.
Well, let me ask this, so outspoken. What do you think as far as bringing these new players in, seeing this new team? Is this going to be something that's going to keep Pop, or is this something where Pop's going to do 1 year, get it set up, maybe hand it over to Duncan, and then finally
I don't
hang
think
up his
Pop's
Spurs?
even at all.
I don't think Duncan's
So,
in a position for it at all.
Pop signed that extension too, right?
Yeah, that's 3 years.
Pop's not going
So
nowhere.
3 years. So
This is life.
Oh, 3 years, right?
I think he's gonna stay on. Depending on how it goes, will he sign on after this 3-year contract is up? That's yet to be seen. But I think it's enough right
They have
now
to make progress.
for
Now,
him.
do you think it's based
to-
on the wins, though?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll because even though I don't think we're going to make the playoffs this year, I do see us improving every
That
single
time-
year. I'm projected playoffs next year and Wemby's second year. Okay, I just don't think we have enough of the firepower and
I
enough
think Popovich is
experience.
going to bring him there to it, though.
Oh, definitely. If anybody can do it, Pop could do it, especially with what he has. Now, I'm going to say this though about Pop. He is going to have to give in on his coaching style a little bit and kind of let the players.
You don't do that.
But that's what I'm saying, and that's a whole other thing that I don't want to get into right now because I
That's
have
what we're here for. Go ahead and say it.
so he's gonna have to give in. He's gonna have to give it a little bit to keep our players. And this is what I've always said, a real controversial, is that players these days, well, let me put it, 98% of the players in the league now, they want it the easy way. They want
98%.
Hey,
Analysis, tell me right now.
I-
All right.
Those numbers
like I
seem
said,
a little off.
hey, hold on. Like I said,
I gotta check the math on that
It's
one.
controversial. 98% of players, they want it the easy way. They want the big contract. They want the lifestyle, and they want a Kardashian.
But you gotta call in question too, the Kardashian curse. When has getting with the Kardashian ever made you a better player?
It hasn't.
Exactly.
And I say that because it's all about the lifestyle. Now, I think Wemby has a better head on his shoulders than most guys.
Oh, he's gonna end
But-
up with the San Antonio woman.
Yeah, hell yeah. But what I'm saying is, as long as he doesn't fall into that, let that influence him, I think he has the potential to be a Tim Duncan-esque type of player, where he will sacrifice for the team. Okay, but if he does have to be that type of player, like Kawhi, for instance,
Don't even get me started on that.
He just wanted his way, and that was it. At one point, you got to give it a little bit to keep these players, to keep your franchise alive, keep your team alive.
Let's stop crying about Kawhi already, man.
I'm not crying about this thing.
Let's just
He's going to have to give
sore
it
spot
a different
for me.
breed.
Well, Panoramic.
My question is, do y'all think Pop's going to help this kid get to where he needs to be?
Yes.
I think Pop will just help him get comfortable.
I would agree.
So?
Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to get it there.
You think having Duncan there is going to make it better for him to learn faster?
Wembanyama? Yes, because Duncan had Robinson.
Yep.
And now Wembanyama's got Duncan.
Yes.
So Duncan is going to take all the experience that he gained from Robinson, all the experience that he gained from being in the league, and pass that on to the next generation.
Yeah,
So my question is, if we're bringing up Duncan, let me get your point of view on this, Panoramic. We got this guy coming in. Is he doing this just to help Pop, or is he looking at taking over a team one day? He's either taking over the Spurs or maybe possibly
That's
coaching
an interesting question, but I can't answer something like that. You'd have to ask Duncan on that one. Duncan, come on, tell us what you did.
Here's what I think. Here's what I think, and then I'll let PK answer that question as well. But what I think is, I don't see Duncan the way he is. He doesn't like the limelight. He doesn't want to be. I think he was an assistant coach that one season just as a favor to Pop.
Yeah.
So I see him more being behind the scenes. Who I would love to see. There's two former Spurs players I would love to see as a coach. One is Sean Elliott, because that guy knows his stuff, and I could see him being successful as a coach. Maybe an Avery Johnson type. The other one,
As a coach or a strategic coordinator, though, because I mean, he seems more numbers driven. I don't know if he'd have that presence to be that.
That's true. That's why I say he's more like an Avery. Avery was a decent coach. You know, he took his team to the finals.
We're straight off again. We're talking about Pop. Y'all talking about future coaches over there. I don't know what this guy's
Well, to answer your question.
All right, I asked Pop. What about Pop? You guys are talking about Duncan taking over the team.
No.
So where are we going here?
All right,
That's a rabbit
Pop.
hole. We ain't going down yet. All right, we'll talk about that
Back
later.
to Pop. So,
All right,
my thing is,
Y'all
Pop.
tell me what y'all thought. That's great. I think Pop's probably going to train this kid, and he's got Duncan with him. I think he's going to make him good.
Well, my thing is like his career goal. 'Cause, I mean, after he dealt with that major loss, God bless. Is this all that he's focused on now? Is this what
I
he's
think
fully
this is all he's
invested
got right now. That's this.
I would agree with that.
in? Yeah.
I'd buy that for $1.
So dump your whole self in, 100%. See where he goes.
I mean, I think at this point you have to. This is a franchise player that you got.
Exactly.
I mean,
true.
this is like a little bit bigger than Embiid, if you ask me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Where this is not a player you're gonna easily trade for, or you're not gonna be able to get rid of him for. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's here to stay.
Well, okay, PK.
If we can make him comfortable.
Well, let me ask you this, PK. What's the over/under on the Spurs getting a championship within 3 years?
Dang.
Well, let's put it this way. This year they're a positive 8,000. So yeah, so $100 will get
This is
you
a problem.
8,000.
No, I actually saw this morning. It was 15,000.
Went up.
Positive 15.
Probably after the trades
But
that were made.
that's
I
for
mean,
this
Milwaukee
season.
went up to number one,
Yeah,
but
Milwaukee's
I don't believe in
already
that, man.
Oh yeah, there
I
are.
mean, all
You
You
can
can
all
be
the
great
clubs,
players, but they have to play together. That's
Yeah.
all that matters.
they've
Exactly.
never done it. So
Yeah, I think that's what this year is going to be. Is they're really putting it
Since we're
together.
talking about trades and everything and money that's given, what about the contract they gave him himself?
I think that was worth it.
Yeah, I
Are
agree.
you talking about somebody who just turned 23, 24? I mean, that guy is our defensive presence right now.
Yeah, get him
Like,
early.
him and Sochan are our defensive presence. Keldon shows up every now and then on offense and defense. If not, it's one or the other.
All right, tell me what you think, Outspoken. Go ahead. I want to hear the truth. Tell me the truth, Outspoken. You're the only one that says what's up.
So even though last year was a breakout year, he only played 20 games, I think.
Yeah.
Because of the injury of the cell. Yeah, definitely the cell, right? He only played those 20 games because of the injury, but he was very impressive those 20 games. If you look at his stats year by year, he is improving every single time. I think last year would have been a breakout year. So if he played the full season and stayed consistent, then I would have been okay. That's warranted. That he deserves it. I would have waited probably until about mid-season to offer a contract like that, because if he doesn't come back to what he was, and if he falls off, then it's we're throwing that money away. It's like
What was it, for 5
and again, and I hate bringing up her past.
Contracts? Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the contract for?
It was 5 years,
143.
143. So it's like he's gonna be getting just under 30 mil a year.
But with him being as young as he is, I think he's going to bounce back just fine. If he was in his
And I hope
30s,
so.
I'd be a lot more concerned.
And then
Yeah,
I mean,
and
the
I
way I
hope so.
see it, coming towards the end of that contract, that's an easy buyout for any other team looking at him.
That's true.
That's true because
If you
I
need
mean,
to trade him, that's
140
that's
sounds a lot.
That is
But-
true. I'm thinking buyout right now as it is. Like, cause I mean, as me looking at this kid, not knowing a whole lot about him, prove me wrong, dude. I don't see the money there. I mean, I agree with Jay. I would agree with Outspoken here. He's
I
like,
think with Victor on our team, it's probably not going to come offensive wise, but defensive wise, the money will probably be
I
good.
agree. Especially with assists, I think that number's going to go up. So
If his
he's
steal
averaging
percentage
4.9,
goes up, yeah.
yeah, I would agree. So even though he may tank a little bit in the actual points per game, I think his assists are going to be up. We're going to see a lot more team play, a lot more fundamentals like we used to. We're talking mid 2000 Spurs, those kind of fundamentals.
I mean, he is our best wing defender, so that's one thing that I'm excited
Yeah, as
about.
long
Well,
as
and
we
like-
stay injury free, I think we're golden on that.
Yeah, and like Outspoken said, year after year, his numbers keep going up. He keeps increasing, so he is literally getting better with time.
yeah, man, I see him possibly doing something well. But what do y'all think about the rest of the team?
They just got to play their role, man.
I was gonna
Stay
say,
out of trouble, play their role. I mean, we got Graham. He did get in trouble a little bit, but I mean, we still picked him up. I think he played great those games that he did play. As long as our players play their role, I think they're all here to stay.
see, and here's my take on that. When I was in the Army, we used to have a saying, there's only two MOSs, two jobs in the military, in the Army. You're either infantry or you support the infantry. And I think that's where we're at. We know who our infantry is going to be, and just like PK said, everyone else has got to know what they're doing. They got to support that infantry.
I think
Get out there and running.
And I think the only thing we're lacking is a true point guard. I feel Trey Jones is more suited for the backup role. And I just don't see him being that guy as a one. So I think that's one thing that we're lacking is a true point guard, which again, I don't see us making the playoffs this year anyway. So if we get a good pick in the draft, let's get that point
Build
guard.
on it. I mean, I can see that. I got no issues with that right there. Any other players that we look at? What's like the one thing I saw online was always about their defense. Now we got a 7'6" guy. We got another 7-footer on there too.
Zohan, right?
Yeah, that's what they're talking about his defense.
Oh yeah, no, I mean this guy didn't he? Oh man, who was it? He literally stuffed a 7-footer on a 3-point shot. I'm trying to remember who that was. It was I want to say it was last year, but he took it out to the line on the 3, went to go shoot it, and there he was. Zohan got up, and was able to bring it down. You don't see too many 7-footers getting stuffed on the 3-point line.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, that's what my whole take is like, hey, everybody's talking about their defense and what they're going to do and how they're going to play. I think, yeah, of course. I think their defense is going to go from like 23rd worst or whatever, way back in the bottom of the pack, to being like in the top 5, top 10 defenses.
Well, I thought we were last in defense last year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, literally. I mean,
we
literally
had one of the highest
Yeah.
like points per game allowed. Yeah,
We
it was
got-
bad last year.
I think with
we got Panoramic
Not
trying
an
to be
under
nice.
hit.
We were
Not a
last.
single
Yeah.
under hit.
I'm
Dead
always
last.
nice guy here. I'm always looking positive. I'm trying to be sugarcoat this.
Hey, the analyst. I go by the numbers, man. The numbers don't lie. We were last.
we were last, and I'll say that
Well, let me
with
ask you guys
Wemby's
this.
defensive presence, we'll get at least top 20 this year, maybe top 15.
Top 20.
Well, let me ask you guys this as far as strategy. Yes, we were last place defense last year. Do you think that was strategic on Pops' side? Because I don't think we earned
Like
that
towards
last
the
place.
10?
I think we,
Oh, so this is another question I have.
yeah.
Did they tank?
Controversial hot take.
Controversial
Here
take right here. Did they tank to get Wembanyama?
I think they did.
Yeah, if you look at the games, you can clearly see he was tanking.
On top of that, I mean,
Not
there
Pop,
was a,
no way, not Pop.
There was a tank, but it was hard to tell, man. With the guys we had, it was hard to tell, but I think it was purposely done.
yeah, I
They
think that's a
traded
good
Murray. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's basically saying
Now Murray was another trouble, man. That was what I'm saying.
That's
He's
true.
another trouble. Like
he's really good.
He could be good, man, but I think once you know what being a Spurs fan for so long, if you can't be a Spur off the court,
Yep.
you're not going to be on the court.
You're not going to bring
You're
it.
saying the kid from Memphis, the gunman, he's not coming over here?
John Morant.
Oh my
For real?
God.
God, bro.
Yeah, I don't see him.
What you got to me?
Oh, man.
I don't see him reporting to Pop anytime
Right.
soon.
Him and Papa get along great.
Yeah.
No way,
I can
man.
imagine on his first year analysis.
Yeah, as good as Rodman and Pop got along.
Yeah, I would think just the same.
No, but
lasting relationship.
yeah, and as far as going back to whether or not it was an intentional tank, I definitely think it was, again, because of the historical data that we're looking at. So if we see what had happened with before we got David Robinson, it was the same thing. We had a poor record the year before so that we could get David Robinson.
That's what they're saying.
It was the same thing with Duncan. And then the same thing we're seeing here. And Pop, we all know Pop's a smart guy, and Pop I trust. So
Pop we trust.
Pop we trust.
Him, Pop we trust. I was like, I don't know about that.
I'm telling you,
Man knows the system.
he does. And he doesn't give a damn what
Even when
anybody
we're
thinks.
losing,
Yeah.
you can see we won. So.
I don't know how that works. How does that? What are you talking about betting? That you
No, I'm
betted
saying,
on them
like,
to lose, and they were
we lost the season, but I mean, I don't think any of us are any less happy, you know, than what the outcome was.
Oh yeah, we knew we weren't getting anywhere.
I mean, yeah, I mean, seeing the lottery go, you know, as soon as we hit top
Everyone,
three,
the
I think
whole
we
city
already knew that
lost
it was either set up a little bit or Wicked was coming this way no matter what.
Regardless if we tanked or not, who cares? Because we didn't have a team. Even if they did try, let's say they kept Murray and they went at it, which maybe made the playoffs at the most.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm saying. I
It's
don't
a
think you can
business.
have a guy like Murray on a team with Victor Wembanyama though.
No.
Like, yeah, that's a star player who's not at star abilities on this
You
team.
can't have ego on a team like that.
Yeah.
You gotta do it. Look at the big three that we had before. None of them cared about being a superstar.
And I'm not even saying that that DJ did bad in Atlanta, but
No,
he
he
wasn't
did
the
great.
greatest.
But that was more his speed. Was being out
there was
there
more
trying
problems.
to. Yeah,
All right, so
trying to
now
hide.
y'all are saying we can't have somebody who's marquee along with Wembanyama,
No, you
unless he's a Duncan nice guy.
You need a team player. That's all it is. I mean, you can have.
yeah, you gotta want people that just want to win games.
Yeah,
That
you can't have
goes
somebody
back
who wants to
to
get
every
points.
No, that's not every team. That's what he was saying though.
Championship
I mean,
teams
now it-
want to win.
No,
That
but
goes
there's
back
hardly
to
any
what I was
teams like
saying.
that though.
You need somebody who doesn't want that lifestyle and pay him at a car
Let's put Gunman up. Let's put Gunman up for
That's
discussion.
what you-
That guy
I
makes how
see the
many
line.
millions
I
a
see
year,
the line.
right?
That makes
Oh, that kid
sense.
don't want to win.
And you're only asking him, hey, don't carry a gun on live videos.
Yeah, that kid don't want to win.
That's all you're
That's
asking.
what I'm saying. He don't want to win. That's why I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about who Lillard just went to Milwaukee.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was Lillard. What I was talking about earlier. That's who Zohan stuffed. He stuffed him on a three-pointer. Lillard was
Yeah.
shooting, and he got him on the line and brought the ball down.
I'm saying, you can go to a super team, but you got rid of all your role players on the Bucks. You got rid of a lot of role players that one person ain't gonna fill.
So we're saying that Wembanyama can play with another superstar. You don't think he can?
I mean, we got superstars on our team in a sense. What? I mean, we got an Olympian, Kelvin
Future
Johnson.
superstar.
Future?
I think so.
I mean, I
could
say
go with Future.
I say he's an all-star. He's an all-star.
See, and here's my thing. Look at what happened with, I think it was the Lakers back in, early 2000s when they just started bringing in big names. They started spending all that money, bringing in all these big names. They didn't do anything that year. Still trash. I don't even know if they made the playoffs. That's what we got to avoid is going out there for the big names, big egos, just like Outspoken was saying. We don't need somebody here that just wants a lifestyle and wants to walk in the club and have everybody go nuts. We want somebody that's here to win, that has that drive, that's willing to pass the ball and not worry about their personal stats to make sure that as a team, we're climbing the whole year, the whole season, every season after that.
Yeah.